Hey there, this is Charlotte Jacobs from Thrive Academy, where we have taught over 50,000 coaches and holistic practitioners how to attract more clients. And our clients are known for becoming six-figure transformational leaders. I'm so excited that you're here with me today because I am going to be interviewing one of our 10,000 hour month club members, Priya Lakhi, and I'll introduce you to her in just a moment. I just want to make sure you understand what the 10,000 hour month club is. This is not something that we sell or people can purchase. This is just when you get those results as a Thrive member, using what you learned at Thrive, you get to join the club and you get to get honored. And one of the ways that we honor our members is by interviewing them, because don't you want to hear the juicy details and the juicy story of how they got to where they were? So I'm so excited to introduce our guest today, Priya Lakhi. So Priya and I actually just met in January when she came to the Client Attraction Summit, and she joined our programs and very quickly had her first 10,000 hour plus month. So I haven't heard all the details of how it happened, so I can't wait to hear. So in Priya Lakhi's words, she's been a healer for what feels like many lifetimes. Her formative years were spared by an interest in the human condition, obsessively asking questions like, why are we here and what does it mean and who am I? And while studying psychology, she gravitated toward the legal profession to defend clients facing the death penalty, as she believes we're all more than the worst thing that we have done. And while hitting success milestones in her career, Priya felt caged in and empty on the inside, therefore sparking her own self-discovery journey. And from this journey that took her to India for over a year, she decided to leave her law profession after 15 years and work with helping others realize how to work with the wisdom inside. Through her company, Awaken Ananda, she works with clients one-on-one and in groups to integrate their intelligence and their intuition and ultimately help them awaken to their highest purpose. So Priya, I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Charlotte.
Well, tell us, where are you right now in the world? Where are you calling in from?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia, where I have
Okay.
lived for the last 10 years.
Oh my goodness. So you're like dealing with like super hot, crazy heat. You got to stay inside or you're sweating.
Yes, and it's hot, but I've been in Canada for the last 3 weeks. I just got back, and the weather has been incredible in Canada and hot in Atlanta.
Yes. Well, I'm like, sure, you're glad to be home, but also like, where was that wonderful weather?
Exactly.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here. You know, I haven't heard the full story of how you had your first 10,000 hour plus month. Let's rewind. Let's talk about. You have actually a funny story about how you ended up coming to the summit. Let's talk about how you found out about Thrive and what had you decide to come to the Client Attraction Summit.
I think it was divine guidance, if I should just put that on the table. I found a Facebook Live, Charlotte, that you had done, I think over a year ago. Somehow I stumbled upon it, and I watched you, and I heard about the Client Attraction Summit, and I said, okay, I need to go. But I was actually part of another mastermind group already. And so I thought, well, is this something I want to do? I want to invest in. I feel like I'm investing so many resources, and I just couldn't get you and Thrive out of my heart or out of my head. And I ended up at the Client Attraction Summit. I ended up winning a scholarship, and I also ended up winning the extras check for the food and the lodging. And so the universe said, okay, well, now you've got no reason not to go. Everything is covered except for the flight.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that a funny thing? Because yeah, so just so some of you know, we do online challenges sometimes, and we'll award people who have, already signed up for the summit and go into a raffle to win food and lodging. And you won that. And I remember you told me something really funny that's actually sparked something big in our company. You said, Charla, I almost didn't come because of your website.
Oh yeah, I did say that. I did say that.
Yeah, well, I so appreciate that you said it, because actually a few people had like, I've heard inklings of like, you guys really need to do a new visual rebrand. And I was resisting it. I was like, I don't have time for it, but we're in the process now. So thanks for your contribution for that. But so, and it's a funny thing, because I really did feel like, gosh, the visual brand we have, it doesn't really represent the magic of what happens at Thrive. But I'm so glad that you followed divine guidance anyway and decided to come. So what was it like for you? What were the big shifts that happened for you while you were there?
I've been thinking about this question because I've had a lot of friends ask me, So how did you do it? How did you step out of one career and into another successfully? And I think the number one answer I give them and I've given myself is that my talent doesn't give me the skill to be an entrepreneur. So just because I was a really good lawyer and was talented in that and was smart and intelligent in that profession did not translate to starting a business, and especially as an entrepreneur. And I know one of the biggest things I've learned with Thrive is now the skill set for success in a different dream. And had I simply relied on my talent, I think I would still be sitting here twiddling my thumbs saying, well, I'm really smart and I know how to do this. Why can't I figure it out?
Yeah, it's really coming back to that beginner's mind, because there you were, accomplished in one profession, and a profession that you spent years and a whole lot of money to get to, and probably had to climb a ladder and do so many things to get to the level that you were at. And I love that you followed that calling to leave your law career and to step into your work as a coach and a healer. And I love that it brought you to Thrive. I feel so blessed to have you in the community. And I'm curious if there was like one big breakthrough, one big shift for you that changed everything during the Client Attraction Summit. What would that have been?
Is that there is a recipe, and that if you find in a company and individuals like you who are willing to share that recipe with such heart, that you don't have to feel so alone, like you're climbing the mountain in stiletto heels with 5 feet of snow.
Oh my gosh. It can feel like that, can't it? Like when you are trying to grow your business and you don't know I so remember what it was like when I was first trying to get clients as a coach and an acupuncturist. This is like 2002. And I think that's a great metaphor. Climbing a mountain in heels, in stilettos, in 5 feet of snow.
Yes. Yeah. And Thrive was the ski lift. And I was like, oh, I just actually have to sit on this ride that's already going up the mountain with all of the tools and the recipe and the templates. Okay, maybe it's time I chose a different path that wasn't the hardest thing that I could choose.
Well, how were things going for you before? Like, how long had it been since you transitioned from your law career, and how long, how was it going in your coaching and healing business?
When I joined Thrive, I had been in a business, and I say that in quotes because now I realize I was in a hobby and not a business. Because I didn't have the tools, probably for around a year. And I found Thrive in January of this year, and things were going okay. I would get clients through some referrals. I felt, this is going to work, but there was no business model, and I was certainly not following anything other than what I would say was building a hobby. It was enough to get by, but I was not thriving. I was surviving.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of describe how their business is as scattershot, like trying a few different things. Okay, referral comes here and there, and there's like a real, I'm working really hard, but it's not working as well. Just feels like too hard for the results that you're getting.
It was so hard. And what that leads to is a real questioning of whether, for me, I'd made the right decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a lonely place, right? And what Thrive brought, especially that Client Attraction Summit weekend, was community, tribe, skills, and just a straightforward, easy to use recipe that just required me to show up. If I showed up and I did what you asked me to do and told me would work, turns out it did.
Well, let's get into, there were actually 5 things. You said, hey, I only shifted 5 things after the summit. So let's talk about those 5 things and what changed for you specifically.
The number one thing that I did was raise my prices.
What
I
were you
realized,
charging before, and what were you charging? What are you charging
yeah,
now? Just so people get a sense.
I was charging $150 per energy healing session and results coaching session.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do a combination of body, mind, and spirit,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the way I came to wholeness.
Yeah.
And then I raised that to 250
Mm-hmm.
per session.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing that went directly after that was, I really believe in deep transformation. And so I cannot do that with a client in one session. And so I went from, you could just work on me one-on-one as a one-off whenever you felt like it, to now I have packages.
Mm.
And so I do 4, 8, and 12 session packages. Those two things alone brought not just credibility to my business, but it also allowed me to live the purpose of my business, which is deep transformation. And once I was able to combine service with the energy exchange of money, that led to clients literally coming out of the woodwork. They were like, oh, I can work with you for a longer period of time. For some reason, I guess people thought they couldn't do that. And so the packages and the raising of my prices definitely made the biggest difference. And then the templates and the what do you do statement. I used to answer the question, what do you do with, oh, I was a lawyer and now I'm an energy healer, or I was a lawyer and now I'm a coach. And people would very politely say, oh, that's nice. Can you pass the dip?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's nice. Is that like the worst
The worst
response to when you share
know.
what you do? It's like heartbreaking. Like you're like,
Yes.
this is my passion. I'm sharing with my full heart and soul this love that I work, this work that I love. And they're saying, that's nice.
Yeah. Right. Like a pat on the head, and you're like,
Oh,
oh,
nice job.
yeah, right. And then
Yeah.
what my brain did, I think, to protect me was convince myself, well, they're just not my people.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I dealt with what felt like a real sense of rejection.
Whew. Yeah, I just got chills. And I love that you said that, Priya, because I think so many coaches and holistic practitioners think, oh, they're not my ideal client because they don't get what I do. And it's like, well, maybe if you talked about what you did in a different way, they would get it.
Absolutely.
That
And
would
that's,
shift.
yes. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, literally, that's exactly what happened, because when I was able to tell the story of here's why I do what I do, and not even mention the tools necessarily until sentence 3 or 4, all of a sudden you saw people's eyes light up and say,
Mm,
oh,
mm,
tell me more. Tell me
mhm.
more. And
Yeah.
that was it. It was the template that I got from Thrive for your what do you do statement.
Well, share with us what you've got going on now when people ask you what you do.
So after 15 years of a successful legal practice, I decided that what I was really doing was living my life for somebody else.
Mm.
And I was unfulfilled and caged in on the inside. And now I've taken my passion to live from wellness through wholeness, and I help other women who are successful on the outside but feel unfulfilled on the inside find money, purpose, and passion.
Oh my gosh. And so people are like, wait, you made that shift? They're
Yeah.
like, can you tell me more about that? And like, because they don't want anybody to know that they're like not fulfilled and that they're not happy in their
Yeah.
career because they're looking good on
Yeah.
the outside. Wow. So you're really attracting these successful people who are not happy in their work life and feeling caged in and feeling empty, and telling them they can have something different, and their ears have perked up.
Yes. Yes. Because they're exactly who I was,
Yeah.
just a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so the authenticity in that what do you do statement is palpable. And
So
that,
powerful.
yeah. And it's made such a difference because the energy is no longer, oh, I just do this. It's, I did this so you can too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's been, I mean, it's like magic.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
Yeah. One of the things that we teach in our, the client attraction code is this distinction of that you can share about your story and as a way to give
Mhm.
yourself credibility and how you got to where you are, rather than just sharing your title or process. And when you made that shift, I just see so clearly how people lean in and they say yes and they're so excited.
Yes.
So that's 3 out of the 5 shifts. So what are the other 2 that you made?
The other big shift was networking. I had to network as a lawyer. And I hated it. I hated going to these like very boring networking meetings face to face. And I was convinced when I started my business, oh, if I just use social media, the clients will come.
Mm.
Because I saw all of these other what felt like very successful coaches and healers online with followers, and I was like, oh, they must be making money, so I will follow that model.
Mm.
And it wasn't working.
Uh-huh.
So taking the templates of the what do you do statement and the heart selling conversation and literally the old fashioned talking to people, turns out there are a lot of people who are interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they just want to know who I am before they say yes. And so networking provides that beautiful opportunity to have the heart-to-heart connection. And with the heart selling template, I don't feel like I'm selling. I simply feel like I'm sharing and I'm in service in every conversation I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was another big shift.
That's so powerful. I think, a lot of times I have to say this, that social media wasn't a thing. It didn't exist. Like I remember actually, and some of you might be old enough to remember this, but when Blackberries came out and I was like, I'm not putting my email on my phone. Hell no. I don't want to be that accessible. I need more freedom, So I said, right? Now we're like, where's my phone? Um, and so, I learned how to attract clients by relating and connecting and being in a relationship with people and meeting people and asking for referrals and doing things the old fashioned way. And I think that what's happened these days is that we see some of these really successful marketers on social media and we don't realize they've got a whole other thing, like they've got a whole lot of things going on in relationship to that. It's not just, hey, I'm going to post on social media and clients are going to come. They've got ads going, they've got retargeting going, they've got they're putting thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars into their marketing. And then somebody who is a solopreneur, a coach, a holistic practitioner, an intuitive, a healer, you try to emulate that and you're like, why wasn't that working? Well, it's a great way to hide. It's a really great way to hide. And the thing is that when you are in a position to empower and help other people heal, when they are in your presence, when they actually can feel your energy field, they can feel your vibration, they're going to lean into you. They're going to be like, I want what she has. And so networking isn't for everybody, but it certainly is for some people. If you are a little more extroverted and you're willing to go out there and connect with people and show up in love and service and use heart selling, it can be really powerful. Yeah. So you actually meet people this way and they become clients.
They become clients. And I've leveraged my relationships with my friends and family in the same way. So networking to me doesn't just necessarily mean like a random event. Now, when I'm talking to a friend over coffee, before I may not have shared what I do under the assumption that they wouldn't be interested. And now I realize when people ask me, so how are you? It's a great opportunity to really answer that question in my full truth and ask them how they are and see if there's a synergy of service somewhere.
Yeah. And if not them, then someone they know.
Exactly.
They may be hearing what you're sharing and being like, yeah, well, my friend told me in the bathroom the other day that I was really, that they were not really fulfilled. I should introduce you. So you've got a what do you do statement. And this is really the goal that we want to have, where you share what you do and people say, I need to talk to you, or I need to work with you. Or they say, I know somebody who should talk to you because I think you can help them. And it's so different of an experience. It creates so much confidence.
Yeah.
And you've got templates and skills to really support you. Now, I'm curious, being an intuitive, a healer and a coach and really doing that kind of work that's a lot about holding space. It's a lot about really supporting others to come to their own conclusions. How is it for you? Like, a lot of people resist the idea of templates. So what have you found? Like, how do you make the templates your own?
I think this goes back to that talent and skill. The skill I needed to learn was the templates and how to use them. My talent of how I make them my own is the icing on the cake. Right? And so I combine my personality and who I am But the templates is the recipe for success. And so I decided I could either stay in vicious independence of just figuring this out on my own, or I could follow the Thrive method, which is tried and true, and add a little flavor of icing of my own on top and see how that works.
Yeah.
And the templates have been a godsend. There's just no other way to say what they've done for not only my business, but my confidence in who I am and what I stand for.
Yeah, and eventually what happens is I find they just become integrated. You don't need to
Yes.
pay attention anymore. You just naturally are kind of following the arc of the conversation. I mean, these came from us being in conversations and being like, oh, that really created a lean in and that created a lean out. So when do I use this and when do I use that? And I just love that you have this. I love the confidence that you bring, and I love the presence. I feel, Priya, like you are headed for big things in your life.
Yes, I love that. I'll take it.
Yeah. Like it's coming, it's coming. It's like any minute now. You're a woman to follow. So if you were going to, say you're talking to a coach or a holistic practitioner, an energy healer, who they're struggling, things are really, it feels like, going up the mountain in stilettos in 5 feet of snow. What would be your biggest, first step you would recommend for them?
For me, other than joining Thrive, which is what I would literally, and I tell people that, I'm not kidding, I tell people that almost weekly, just go join Thrive and figure out your big why. So when we do the hero's journey exercise, I realized that what I was doing a lot of was trying to fit a story into a marketing message. And that's, while important, I think it's secondary to what is my big why? Because if I could figure that out and really integrate that into my system, then I could endure any how. Like, how do I do that? And so that's the first thing I tell individuals is, who is the why and why do you want to do it? Find that niche, figure that out. I wanted to, I think as a healer, help everyone. Yeah. Everyone, whoever comes into my path, I will accept as a client, and I shouldn't have a niche, and anything like having a niche would mean that I was blocking the flow of energy from the universe.
It's so common for people to think that that's the way it goes.
Yeah. And it turns out when I got really crystal clear about my big why, then I got really crystal clear on how to make that not only a profitable business, but a profitable business filled with service. And so I would say that's probably the fifth thing that really made a difference for me, was narrowing down, with the help of the Thrive coaches, by the way, because I'll tell you, after the summit, I joined Lifetime, and it was a no-brainer for me. And then the Thrive coaches, the one-on-one coaching, solidified that big why and helped me turn it into a message that was easily recognizable and attainable. So yeah.
Good stuff. Well, let's ask just a little bit, people might want to know what does your business model look like? So you find clients, it sounds like through networking, you're asking for referrals, you're going to places, you're talking to people, you're talking about your business. You are doing some social media, organic posts. I understand, you have an email list. So and what else are you doing as far as the client attraction strategies? There really, there are 8 client attraction strategies that work for coaches and holistic practitioners. I'll share those briefly. We've got social media organic, social media paid, having, email marketing, referrals, JV partnerships, which are strategic partnerships, co-marketing or cross-marketing, speaking gigs, leading workshops or meetups, and heart selling at live events or networking events. So tell us a little bit about the ways that you attract your ideal clients.
So my journey started with ideal networking and referral list. And now, in fact, just yesterday, I graduated with my NLP teacher's training certificate. So I'm thank you. And through that, I've booked speaking gigs. So I'm moving into now leading workshops. I have a keynote in a week in front of 1,000 people that I'm really excited about. And I'm going to use the Thrive strategies from speaker to be able to sell from the stage. And the free consultation, the discovery session that, I have, mine's called Awaken Your Purpose Strategy Session. Mm-hmm. That is essentially the start of where people feel like they can get to know me and what I do. And that leads to people investing in packages, investing in time and energy with me. So definitely networking, email list, and now speaking on stage and the discovery call.
It's so great.
And
referrals. Yeah. And
sure.
it's so clear, when we say strategy, like everybody likes the word strategy, and a lot of times we're talking about tactics, but the real strategy is that you want to get people to your consultation. You're using the Get Clients Free Consultation formula, having those conversations with potential clients to see if it's a good match, giving them value at the same time. And so you're doing all of these things like workshops, like social media, networking, asking for referrals, sending emails, and having people, inviting people into those consultations. And people say yes to your packages. So it's such a crystal clear business model. And then, everything I'm doing is designed to move people toward those consultations, and it makes your business a lot simpler.
And fun.
Yeah.
Right. Because I get to talk about the things I love and give knowledge and value. And in turn, people want to know more. Yeah. So it really feels like a win-win.
I love it. I love it. Well, and and I love that you've really figured out that consultations are the way to go, and that this has really shifted everything, and you've got a plan now, and it's a simple plan. It's not this complicated thing that's like, oh my God, I have to put out like 50 pieces of social media content. And it's a simple plan. You're really clear on what you're doing, and working with the template. So I absolutely love it. This is great stuff. So I'm curious. I am curious, if people wanted to just get to know you a little bit more and connect with you, where would they find you?
Yeah, thanks for asking. You can find me on my website, which is Awaken Ananda, and it's Ananda. And Ananda in Sanskrit means your highest potential. And beautiful. So that's really the mission that I want to bring to the world with all of the tools that I have. So that's the website. You can follow me on Instagram at Awaken Ananda. Or you could just shoot me an instant message on Facebook, Priya Lakhi.
All right. Awesome. I love it. I love it. And I just appreciate so much how you're sharing about your journey. It's really, really inspiring to hear about what happened for you. And it was within 3 months that you had your first 10,000 or plus month. Is that right?
3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. When we did the 30-day challenge in March, which that was it, because I got a little fire under my belly, and turns out I have a competitive side. Oh. So I wanted to win, right? And you say the word challenge, and I wanted to show up and prove to myself more than anybody else that I could do this, and I had made the right decision.
Yeah.
Yep.
And great work. Congratulations. It's so exciting. It's really just the beginning for you, Priya. I just really appreciate you coming today and sharing your story. I know I'm certainly inspired. I know people are super. You should check out the comments. Like, people are like, woohoo, congratulations.
Oh, thanks, great. Everyone.
So great. And for those of you who are here and you're inspired and you're thinking like, how, Priya's saying, go to Thrive, check out the summit. I want to let you know that scholarships for the Client Attraction Summit are open right now for just a short window of time. You can go to clientattractionsummit.com to learn more and claim your full scholarship. And if you are already on our list, I know we close scholarships and then they are open right now. So even if you're on our list, normally you wouldn't be able to access the scholarship page, but it's open for you right now. And we would be so honored and delighted to meet you and to support you to do your great work in the world. Like, in our world, I don't think necessarily that the government or big business is going to do the things that we need to do to change the world. Jesse and I truly believe that as coaches and holistic practitioners, that your work that heals and empowers people from the ground up, like, this is where world change comes from. Have people living their purpose, have people, feeling good in their bodies, have people living in love and in connection in their relationships, to have health and to be doing the work that they love in this world and earning a great living. And let's help people move from surviving to thriving. So we're all doing this together. We'd be so honored if you came and joined us just to come check us out. No pressure to join our programs. For some people, it's a good match, and others it's not. But we do offer this on full scholarship. We just spend about 10% of the time talking about the opportunity to join us in our other programs. And whether you decide to do that or not, there's great value to get from coming to the Client Attraction Summit. So I hope you'll join us and claim a full scholarship at clientattractionsummit.com. And again, I want to thank you so much for this really wonderful, joyful interview, Priya. Is there any last something that just you really feel like you have to share with everybody?
Go after your dreams, get the support from Thrive. And I am just so grateful to you and Jesse and the entire Thrive community and family, because it has absolutely made the difference in my life and my career.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Well, I can't wait to see you again, Priya. Thanks so much for sharing your story. It was so inspiring today. So exciting. Congratulations on all your success. Lots of love to you. And bye, everybody. Until next time, this is Charlotte Jacobs signing off, because your people are waiting for you. Talk soon.